Hello, I'm Darren Magee, and today's topic follows on from last time where I looked at why people sometimes come to hide their true capabilities and talents from the narcissistic people in their lives, why they don't speak up when they know that they should. Now, if you haven't already, you might want to watch that before watching this, just to add some context. But today, I'll be discussing the long-term effects of suppressing our opinions, skills, talents, beliefs, hiding those aspects of ourselves which can bring up envy and jealousy in others. So, if you find this topic to be interesting, please consider subscribing. Now, with long-term exposure to narcissistic behaviour, now whether that's in a workplace, a community setting, a family, or a relationship, a process of deskilling and disempowerment often begins. Due to their envy and sense of superiority, narcissistic people generally don't appreciate or celebrate the qualities or the achievements of others. They tend to criticise and sabotage. There can be unkind humour, and they can be pretty good at problematising anything they feel challenges their sense of themselves, anything that challenges their status. And also, narcissistic people can be emotionally draining. Constant criticism, temper tantrums, or a lack of recognition can erode confidence and resilience in those people around them. And some people might begin to hide some aspects of themselves just to avoid competition. They might suppress their true thoughts and feelings as a way of trying to avoid conflict, just to try to maintain some kind of peace in the relationship. Or they might hide their true capabilities to avoid being either criticised or exploited. And this may work in the short term. There is something to be said for picking our battles. There is also something in that old saying about casting pearls before swine. But what are the long-term effects? Well, firstly, the lack of validation and recognition from narcissistic people can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. And over time, people might internalize the message that their skills are either not valued or are a source of conflict, and this can lead to lower self-esteem. When we're not doing the things we enjoy, the things we excel at, when we don't engage in the things that bring us a sense of accomplishment, it can lead to an erosion of confidence in our abilities. Concealing, even denying our talents just to avoid criticism or competition can also contribute to diminished self-worth. And when people become accustomed to downplaying their abilities or pretend they don't know the answers to things, after a while, they can find it challenging to express their opinions on certain topics or showcase their skills whenever they need to. And this can extend their relationships beyond the one with a narcissistic person. Over time, people might find it challenging to open up and be authentic in various social and professional settings because the behavior has become so ingrained. Also, they might find it difficult to trust others. Secondly, the fear of negative consequences or the emotional toll of suppressing yourself can have an impact on mental well-being. Like well-being, I often think of as just feeling okay and functioning well. Constantly navigating the need to hide skills, play dumb, can be emotionally draining and can lead to chronic stress and anxiety. Some people might even develop a fear of being exposed as being more capable than they really are. And this can contribute to something of an identity crisis, as people struggle to reconcile their authentic selves with the persona they present just to avoid conflict with a narcissist. And this internal conflict can lead to cognitive dissonance, a sense of confusion, and disconnection. And as people become accustomed to suppressing their true selves, they can struggle to express their thoughts, ideas, and their abilities openly, and this can limit creativity, self-expression, and overall fulfillment. In fact, many people who have been in narcissistic relationships often report feeling as if they lost a part of themselves. Thirdly, continuously hiding skills and talents can lead to a lack of personal development and growth. Suppressing abilities prevents people from fully exploring and realizing their true potential. Some might even become reluctant to take risks or develop their existing skills. So people miss out on opportunities for learning, growth, and honing their abilities, and in the longer term this can lead to feelings of regret and loss. Number 4. In a professional setting, hiding talents from narcissistic colleagues or superiors can limit career advancement. Avoiding showing their true capabilities, people can miss out on promotions, recognition, or opportunities for career growth. They might also miss out on opportunities to collaborate, share knowledge, and contribute positively in the professional environment. And achieving personal satisfaction and a sense of purpose often involves embracing and utilizing your abilities, and this can be hindered if you hide them. Living in constant fear of a narcissistic person's reaction can lead to a lack of fulfillment. People can feel unfulfilled and dissatisfied in many areas of their lives due to an inability to freely express and utilize their talents. And as I mentioned earlier, this can contribute to a sense of identity suppression. Next, whenever people feel they can't speak up, they can't speak out, they have to hide their true thoughts, their true feelings, their mood tends to lower. They can become quite negative. They might struggle to assert themselves in other areas of their lives. They can even become very easily irritated. Some might become sarcastic, even passive-aggressive. Because suppressing talents, suppressing your true self can lead to feelings of frustration and resentment. People can become resentful towards the narcissists in their lives for creating an environment where their opinions, feelings, skills cannot be openly expressed. But sometimes that resentment gets turned inwards towards themselves for missing out on valuable opportunities that came their way. They ruminate endlessly over things they should have said or should have done, and they can feel both helpless and hopeless. They feel stifled, hollow, unfulfilled, and devalued. And what adds to the hurt is when further down the road, that narcissistic person who eroded away at them a little piece of their time reminds them of the dreams they had, the things that they used to think they were good at, and what a failure they are. And the truth is, the whole time they did not want to risk feeling important because of the constant criticism and competition just due to that narcissistic person's insecurity. Many people in long-term narcissistic relationships often report that no matter what they compromised on, no matter what they suppressed or denied themselves, it was never enough. The narcissistic person demanded more and then complained when there was nothing left. So to summarize, a sense of purpose and personal satisfaction often involves embracing and utilizing your abilities, but hiding skills, talents, playing down your true capabilities and suppressing your voice, well, that might avoid short-term conflict, but in the long term, it can impact in so many ways, from low self-esteem, loss of confidence, and self-worth. It can also mean missed opportunities, a lack of fulfillment, not reaching your true potential, and this can lead to low assertiveness, long-term regret, and resentment. In reality, narcissistic people are never really satisfied, certainly not for long anyway. Their lack of humility, their sense of entitlement, their lack of ability to celebrate others, and their desire to dominate can be relentless. Many people sacrifice their true selves on the altar of their fragile ego, hoping things will get better. And the truth is, it never really does. The more you sacrifice, the more they want. Now, if you are or have been in a relationship or an environment with a narcissistic person, I would encourage you to seek help from a mental health professional. So that's a brief outline of the long-term effects of when someone suppresses their talents and their voice in a narcissistic relationship. If there's anything you might like to add, please feel free to use the comments section. There are some interesting conversations start from these videos. Next time, I'm going to be looking at what happens when someone finds their voice again, whenever they begin to shine. In the meantime, if you find this video to be helpful, please consider subscribing, and until next time, thanks for watching. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe once said, "The person born with a talent they are meant to use will find their greatest happiness in using it."